everybody, welcome to my little detailing Yoda channel, where just really, as I'm a full-time detailer, what we do is just try and film these things to help you guys. I've been detailing a long time, there was less help around when I started out, so I'm just trying to film these things as we go along, little tidbits, little things, little questions that I hope you'll find useful. So, the thing on this, you might remember on my Instagram, I filmed a quick walk around of this when it first came in a few weeks ago. And I said to you, do you guys want to know some more about polishing carbon fibre? Because if I was ever going to do a carbon fibre polishing video, this was the car we were doing on, because it's all carbon fibre. And yes, that was what a lot of you said, was yes. So, yes, we're still recording. Yes, was what a lot of you said, so here we go. I'm going to talk to you about polishing carbon fibre. And initially what I thought I would do is I'd be there with loads of hints and tips and loads of things and loads of pad combinations and all of that stuff. And through polishing the car, pardon me, it has really outlined the approach that you should take. Because, the first thing I'd say is, without knowing it, you've already polished things similar to carbon fibre. If you've polished gloss black pillars on any modern car, really, you've polished something very similar to carbon fibre. That is plastic, isn't it? That's what carbon is. The second thing to say is not all carbon fibre is created equal. Some carbon fibre can be gel coat covered, so more like a resin covered carbon. Carbon fibre can be clear coated. And of course, really what we're talking about here in the sense of this car and carbon finishes on cars, so things like carbon roofs on M3s, carbon mirrors. I've got a Porsche over there that's got carbon mirror trims. That sort of real carbon fibre is normally either a carbon fibre weave with a resin coating. It's either the bare resin that you'll be polishing, or it's the clear coat that has been put on top of that, so a standard automotive clear coat. There are other types of carbon fibre finishes, so wraps, there are vinyls with carbon fibre print on. We're not really talking about those, although you can polish those surfaces as well. So the number one thing really that I want to get across to you is the same thing if you've been taught by me or you've gone into my other videos a bit about polishing. Basically, it's never assume. The substrate you are polishing is one thing, and it may have varying degrees of hardness, but obviously the defects you're removing are another thing. They might be really light. So I could tell you the pad and polish combination that will work probably for removing an average defect from an average bit of carbon fibre. But you might not have an average defect. You might have a very deep defect. You might have a really shallow defect. And always what we're trying to do is remove the defect and remove the minimum of other things. So the minimum of paint or whatever the coating is, whatever the thing we're polishing is, we want to remove a minimum of that whilst, we want to remove the defect and nothing more. So I'm afraid I haven't really got any tried and tested, use this polish, use this pad, use this technique, because like anything, you need to do a test spot. You need to do, on this car, where it's obviously this manufacturer's carbon is different to this carbon, is different to the door carbon, is different to the roof carbon. What that means is a lot of test panels. So unfortunately, you've got to start off with a light pad and polish combination, whatever that is for you. So for me, that is yellow on a Rupes 15 generally. And I will see how that goes. And on that panel, it might remove what I want to remove, or I might need to step it up. On the majority of this car, I needed to do a lot of work with Rupes blue wool and Rupes blue polishing compound on a 15, sometimes one or two hits of that combination, and then I finish the car up with yellow and the yellow foam pad and the yellow, what I call the yellow combination, so the yellow foam pad and the yellow DA fine compound now, just to really give it that gloss. But different areas require different number of hits, and different panels had different amounts of marking. The boot lid had some hazing on, which a lot of carbon does actually, so if I'm very clever and talk to myself while I'm editing, James put in a 50-50 of that boot lid now. What you can see from that is it just didn't have any sharpness or depth, and we're sort of changing the surface as we polish on that. So really there are many more variables with carbon fibre, depending on how it came out of the mould. Was it clear coated afterwards? Was it sanded after it was clear coated? Was it sanded when it came out of the mould? How good a mould is it? How good a process? There are a lot of variables, as there are with paint. But even more so. So the only process I can recommend is the standard polishing process you should be following anyway, really, which is do a test section, see how your defects respond to that, and then modify either your technique and your pad and polish to get the result that you've promised your customer or that you are looking for. Unfortunately, there are no shortcuts to that process. So I'm going to wrap that up there. Hopefully that's been really useful to you. As always, do bang me a question, or I try and be available on Instagram messages or on the messages here to answer stuff. There may be some pauses. I also am running a detailing business, so that has to take priority, unfortunately, but I do try and look and have binges on replying to stuff and that sort of thing when I can. So. Yeah, I'll give you a little walk around, because I know you're dying to see a bit more about this stunning little EVO, which is 700 horsepower, by the way. And yeah, hopefully you enjoy the little walk around in a minute and you found this useful. Keep an eye out for the next video, guys. Give us a sub if you're not subbed, and maybe tag some of your detailing mates and that sort of stuff if this is something you think they want to have a look at. And if it's not, tell me what I can do that will be useful to you. Thank you very much, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.